In this slidecast, we're going to look at the levels of quality management systems. So all quality systems, management systems, are not equal. And this little diagram shows the steps of it. So at the very lowest level is inspection, and at the highest level is TQM, total quality management. So inspection is you build something and then you check it before you hand it over to the client. So you build a driveway, you install a pipe, you have a bit of a look at it, yeah, that looks alright, then you hand it over. Now if it's not alright, then your only option is to dig the thing up and do it again. The next level up is quality control. So you're doing things like checking materials as they come on site, checking the pipeline as it's being installed. So you're not checking the pipeline just at the end, which is what you do with inspection. You're actually, as everything's going along, you're saying, are we tracking okay with the quality? If not, do something about it at the time. So that's what quality control is all about. Now once again, if there's a mistake happens, if the pipe's not to line or it's not to level, then you'll have to pull out part of the pipe and relay it. So once again, that error has happened and it's cost you money. Quality assurance is the next level up. So quality assurance includes all the stuff you do for quality control, includes all the stuff you do for inspection, but adds more. In this case, if you're taking those lessons that you learned from previous jobs and you're applying them into the new job. So it's continuous improvement. So if you make a mistake in laying the pipelines, for example, it might have been set out properly because the foreman didn't know what he was doing, then that process of taking that lesson and putting it back into your systems by, say, having the foreman all go on a pipeline set out course, that is quality assurance. You're taking those mistakes and you're making sure that they will not happen again. You're continuously improving your quality management system. So that's what quality assurance is. The idea of quality assurance is that the mistakes don't happen in the first place. The first two, inspection and quality control, they are designed to pick up mistakes when they happen, so then you have to spend money to fix them. Quality assurance aims to put in place a system where the mistakes do not happen in the first place. So you've made sure that your foremen are all trained in setting out pipelines, so there's not going to be a mistake when you're setting it out. So that's what quality assurance is. And the next level up from that is total quality management. So once again, it includes quality assurance, quality control, inspection, all of those things you do there, but adds a little bit more. And in this case, every person in the company becomes a quality manager, so to speak. So everyone is concerned about how can we do our job better, how can we improve the system, and that workers right down to the guy that's sort of digging the trenches, they're all encouraged to think about how can I do my job better, how can I make sure that mistakes don't happen. And there's a system whereby that is funneled up to the managers and it is implemented in the company quality management system. So and this was a big thing in Japan, where all the factory workers would all sit around at the end of the day and talk about what happened, how they could improve the company's quality. There'd be a manager there, he'd be taking notes, and so even the lowest factory worker could actually influence changes in high-level policy. So that's total quality management. Very few companies in New Zealand have TQM. It's the highest level of quality and it takes a lot of effort to do. So inspection, you're inspecting one or more characteristics of it. In engineering, you'll be checking the incoming materials. Are they what was required? Is the work being constructed properly? Completed works? So if something doesn't conform to specification, you scrap it or rework it. So it's after the event screening, no prevention. So you're not trying to stop mistakes from happening, you're just picking them up when they do happen. Quality control, you're focusing on the end result. You've got some planned monitoring, so instead of just rocking up and looking at the materials as they arrive in, you've actually planned it. You've done that quality plan that I showed you a couple of slidecasts ago, and sort of saying this is what we're going to do, this is who's going to do it. So it's a more formal plan, it means that you are picking up stuff, you are actually planning when the inspections and the monitoring is going to happen, and you're planning about what you're going to do with all the documentation as well. Quality assurance is the systems to control quality. As I mentioned before, it's all about preventing mistakes from happening. So you have more emphasis on quality planning. You're actually giving, right at the start of the project, before you start working, you're giving a lot of thought as to what's going to happen, what are the possible things that could stop us from achieving the right quality, what are we going to do about it. So doing a risk analysis of quality, improving the design, improving control over the processes, and motivating people to come forward and do it. Also focusing on the customer, so going to the customer and saying, are you happy with what's happening, and trying to improve the system as you go. And total quality management is mutual cooperation. Everyone in the organisation is involved in quality. It becomes part of the company's culture. Everyone is thinking, how can I do this job better? It's one of the things that occupies them. It's one of those things that they are really concerned about. How can I do my job better? And as I said, the total quality management concept arose in Japan, and was one of the reasons why the Japanese sort of went from being defeated in World War II, to being a totally demolished country, to being one of the industrial powerhouses, because a lot of the companies, the successful companies, brought in total quality management systems and were able to improve and improve and improve, so they became very efficient at doing industrial processes. And the same with construction firms as well. They just got better, everyone just got better and better and better at what they did, and that's the aim of a total quality management system. And the main focus is client satisfaction. You're always looking at, how can I make my client really happy? What was the best way to do that? So that concludes this slide cast.